Welcome back, duelists. Today, we're going to locals with Yubel. I've been alluding to this for a while, and I've talked about Yubel before on this channel, but it's one of my favorite decks in the new format. I have a lot of fun in playing it, and I think it's quite impressive. So now I'm going to be showing off a more unique build to the one we keep seeing in the OCG, which is more Unchained heavy and more combo based. Let's go see if I can win locals. I'll see you guys there. Okay, so we're on the road now, and I unfortunately don't have a deck built, so I borrowed one from my friend Assad, and I forgot to send him a side deck in the deck list. So my side deck for this event is going to be 15 random cards you threw together, which may be somewhat at my detriment, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Alright, so we are here with round one of our tournament. As usual, I'm going to do a play-by-play explaining the thought process, why I'm doing what I'm doing in the moment, and hopefully that information will help you guys improve as players. Because otherwise, it'd just be some raw gameplay, and that's not all what I'm about. You can see here, my hand is pretty good, and though I lost the roll, my opponent did make me start. So now I have to think about the best way to play around hand traps and breakers. Now, this board that I'm about to make is pretty standard across this deck in terms of what it can do. And it's pretty good into breakers, so I'm not going to have to adapt my end field in any way. I want to try and end on the same thing every time, regardless of what deck I'm playing against. However, the way to play through hand traps will be adaptable. Ash Blossom on the Spirit Gates here is not a huge problem for me. Dark Beckoning Beast is not as important as the gates itself. So if you're playing against Yubel, you can ashing the Beckoning Beast is not a bad idea. Ashing the Spirit Gates I would avoid, because the best part about the Spirit Gates here is that it revives from the grave, and then it can add back continuous spells. The bodies off of the Beckoning Beast are not super important. So Samsara here can't be Veiler, don't have a huge problem. I get to search here. Samsara, get the Spirit will now get me Nightmare Pain. I believe I don't have the what's it called, Mature Chronicle or Nightmare Pain already in hand, so not much choice here. You're going to go for Pain. Now the reason you'd add Mature Chronicle is if you already have Nightmare Pain, because Nightmare Pain is like a fine starter. I do play multiple copies of it. Here I set it, playing around Droll, although obviously I probably would have been Drolled already. Actually, no, at this point I wasn't playing into Droll because I got ashed on Spirits. Although you can argue playing around Gamma in some capacities. But yeah, because I have another Spirit in hand, I'm going to pop it from hand. I don't think keeping it as a hand trap is real in any regards. And this will let me kind of get into play. So my opponent here was unfamiliar with Yubel cards. I wanted to explain them, so going a little bit slow here. That is just the reason. And now what you want to do here is start developing, which is Yubel monsters and 0/0 fiends in the grave. You can turn them into Phantom later, whether it be for follow-up or it be for the protection from Nibiru. The big thing here is if I get nibbed, it's not going to be a big problem. I have the revive still off both the Spirit Gates and the Grave Squirmer. And now the Yama, which is going to be another step into making sure that we have follow-up through Nibiru until we get Phantom on your field. And Phantom will come out immediately after the Yama gets a search here. And I'll be pretty much set to go. Now I just have to get Fiends on fields to put the Yama in Grave. I like putting two Yamas into play because I can use one on my turn, one on their turn. Having a Yama in Grave is very important to play through board breakers. And having one on your turn lets you make a bigger board. So it's typically something that I always try to go for, and a lot of builds don't play multiple Yamas. I think that's something that I'm not a huge fan of. You'll see even more with the Fiendsmith cards. I still want to find space for at least two Yamas. And this build I am playing 3 because you have the space right now, but yeah, I mean, Yama is just broken. I get in the card is just so criminally insane that I can't imagine not playing more, although it's not like super popular. So you need to keep popping Yubels here as well, so you have access to multiple level 10s, because you do want to end on Varadras at some point. So here I think I can do multiple things. I can just revive the Spirit, make Varadras. I can't remember if that's what I do. I need to trigger a pop again so the Yama resolves. So I need to find a way to pop a card. My best actor Superstar is going to be a way to do that. Then again, another Yama, so I'm going to cycle a Yama out here. And I'm going to get the trap. Whatever trap I'm going to get, I'm going to reset off Sarama later. So Escape is the best one. I mean, it feels because you get evenly, you get to blow up your own cards. You can Yama and Solar Rage add back. And that just means you end up like still 3 to 4 interrupts that are evenly matched. So yeah, here I'm just going to link off the Yubel. I can get the level 10s back later because I still have 2 I can still revive 2 level 10s. And here I make the Abyss Actor. I can pop the it only pops face ups here, so I can pop the Nightmare Pain though, because again, the Spirit Gates has the effect where if you control level 10, you can add back a continuous spell from the grave. So this is still free. I'm not actually losing any resources. And because I don't play Disaster or a second Shayama, popping or Yama revive the Shavar is necessary if I still want to make a rank 6. So that's why I do this. And then I get to right, I had Thrust. I'm wondering why I did this way, because sometimes you just go straight into Shayama instead, but I had enough bodies that I could do this and on multiple traps. And I'm looking at this and I'm wondering why I just said Abomination Prison. In retrospect, that would have been better because it wouldn't have burned the trap and deck. Because it also means now that a Shavar goes to grave of us follow up. So what I'm actually doing here is a mistake. And I didn't realize this until now, but good to know. I just had no reason to burn the trap there. It is more of a resource in the deck than the Abomination Prison is. I get to revive. And why did I thought I ended on both traps? Because I didn't. Very special from deck. And I'm going to summon from the deck the Aru here. That way I can just pop up with Escape without having to pop the Rage. And that means that I don't have to burn a Yama if I wanted to keep that cycle in play. But yep, here that. And then I can just go use Spirit Gates and use the Squirmer. So I get to add back with Spirit Gates now. And then I can discard the Spirit Gates, revive. I'm losing Nightmare Pain right now, but it's not a big deal. I get to just go for Vaudeo. So yeah, this is the board, and this is very good into breakers. And you see how this through Ash Blossom. Now, if you had other hand traps, the board may have been slightly worse. But I mean, honestly, this is you got the negates off the Vaudeo. You got the negative Phantom, and double negate here. You got the Rage link into SP, and then the Banish, and then the Banish again with the SP. The pop here, and you got the Revive, and you just have incredible follow up. So I mean, it should be very evident how powerful this is, and you really just can't expect to break through this. Like I would be very surprised if my board ever got truly broken. Especially because like they have to like it's always going to start with Dark Ruler, and even then you're not like effed because you can still go escape pop, revive the Rage, and then Rage still into SP, which still several interrupts, and then have to deal with the follow up, right? Because you're going to have the double Phantom right off the rip, and the add back off the Rage as well, and then the continuous spell is still floating. So yeah, very 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 powerful, extremely powerful. Now here I'm assuming because my opponent made me first, I'm going versus Tempai, and I'm debating because first Tempai. Their win condition versus you is like kind of hard. They kind of have to collect me or Draco you. I start siding and I'm realizing, nah, look, if I go first, I don't think I can lose. The only way I'll lose this game is if I get a collect me or Draco. So keep the Dark Rulers in the deck. If I go first, not the biggest deal. Yes, he makes me start again, and I see my hand is Nightmare Throne and Spirit Gates, which is broken. Drop the Terraforming, so I guess I'm like committed to using it. Not a big deal. Yeah, Ash and Spirit Gates again, not where you want to start. I knew he did that game 1, so I was good to do it game 2. Again, just debate the Ash. Ash on Throne is, or the Terraforming is way better because Throne is a great resource in the field. Yeah, this setup is now crazy. And I have to debate what the best way to start this is. Lotus is a fine starter. It's the thing is, if this gets Ash, it's a bit wonky. That being said, he can't Ash it now. And if he does have something to stop it, like a Veiler, I can revive the Spirit Gates later and then trick it that way. So you Veilers now, and I get to change Shavara. So this is partially why I play Abomination's Prison in my deck. And these more Unchained cards. I know I just drew Shavara here, but like usually you can search Shavara, and it means you play through these type of Veiler type cards way better. As well as giving you access to Shayama and to that whole dynamic. Yeah, so Mature Chronicle here gets flipped over because I already have Nightmare Pain in hand. And Mature Chronicle in this deck is really just going to act as a way to revive Yubel, so you can make the rank 10 easier, and you don't need it to do the combos. But it lets you play through hand traps more effectively. You can see here I got double hand trap, although the double hand trap really didn't do anything. So I'm going to have a super efficient line to combo. I'm pretty sure because of Mature Chronicle here as well, I can actually start off with a rank 10 pretty early. So I think I'll make it rather early in my combo. And I won't have to do the aggressive like superstar stuff I did last game. So I'm going to pop the Yubel out. And again, I'm just going to keep my cycles going for my Yubels. So that next turn I have several Phantom setups. You can make multiple Phantoms in turn 1 to link them away, but you really don't need to. You have enough fodder without them. Second Yama here, because again, that's what you want to be doing. And that's the Rage. So I'm pretty sure here if I go Grave Squirmer and Spirit Gates, or Mature Chronicle Spirit Gates, it's enough to make it already. Yeah, I can Banish. That's Vaudeo. So now I'm very excited for Niv. Now he can't Imperm me. I have two aspects of Disruption. And again, if I got Imperm on the summon there, I still had Shayama. I still had the Yama and Grave. Like, that's why this deck is so crazy into hand traps, and like I'm like inclined to play this. I think this is just so broken because you already see the Caesars there. It doesn't matter what to do. The Sarama from deck really doesn't matter. It's going to set Escape here. And you can argue the Sarama is like a bit of a crappy brick, but I think the Escape does let you manage versus board breakers better. Imagine the Unchained engine versus your non-engine is kind of something that I'm working on with this deck, because obviously the Sarama is another brick in the deck. It's not the worst to draw, but it's not super conducive either. And I wonder like how important it really is. Yeah, my opponent concedes there. I know it wasn't the craziest match, but that just shows you the insane combo potential here. Like, it's so powerful when it goes first. It's actually ridiculous. If you're enjoying the content and want to support the channel while also using the best sleeves on the market, Check out tsx1.com. Use the code potato10, 10% off on your Supreme Pro sleeves. My favorite are the whites. They are fantastic quality and they feel great. So if you're planning on going to a tournament, make sure to go get them. Remember, the code is site-wide, so if there's other stuff you want, make sure you use the code still. All right, and we are back for round number 2. And it's actually funny. I just noticed my opponent is using a hero playmat, which should have maybe cued me into playing heroes, because, spoiler alert, I'm playing with heroes here. Oh, by the way, in the last round, I found out my opponent was not playing Tenpai. They're playing ABC. And I did not realize that, because as you can see, the entire match, they played a total of 5 cards. 3 of them were the same. Or 3 different ones total. So I kind of felt bad for my opponent, how one-sided that was, but it's partially why, like, this deck is crazy. And your opponent plays Tenpai, they just get cooked. Anyways, I win the roll here, so you're going to get to kind of do the same thing before. You can see my hand has several different options. I already do Shavar and Squirmer, so if this gets stopped, not a huge deal. And if I got Ash on the Samsara, I can set a card, summon a Shavara, and then I can special the Squirmer, make Yama, and still proceed my plays that way. Not super hard. But now I get to this point, it's standard-ish combo of Samsara. Samsara by itself should do like a shit ton. So I can really go off. Because I already have Squirmer, I'm just gonna get the Mature Chronicle. That's why I play the one of, and it's really fine. Like it's a bit weird to have. Like obviously not the best card to drop, but it's not the worst either. And then it also gives you follow up in some weird game states when they can break through, because them breaking through like is really hard. It requires them to hand trap and have breakers. But if they do, then they have to deal with the follow up. And that extra follow up can matter. Now again, same kind of like set of lines where I'm going to be filtering through Yubel, set up the Grave, and then proceed into Yama to then go into the Unchained package. Now here, I think maybe I could have done something different where I put the Shavara into play first, because usually when I add Shavara, adding Aruha off this feels kind of weird. I am playing Aruha instead of that my A-Bomb Prison has another search target besides Shavara in case I draw a heavy Unchained hand. It's just the one of, because really not how you want to start, and you can't use Varidras with it. It's also important because Aruha, unlike Shavara, can target face-up cards to pop to summon itself. So in weird game states when you get interrupted, you can pop face-up Nightmare Pains or Nightmare Thrones to keep progressing your combo. So I do play the one, however, again, it's not like the best card in the deck, so I do just keep it at a single copy. Managing that ratio between Unchained, Yubel, and non-engine is very difficult with this type of deck. But here I see a very easy way to just make Varidras and Phantom early. So I don't have to cycle through as hard as I did with my other combos. I got Varidras up and Phantom up. Now, Yen's safe from Nib and Perm. He's going to need 3 hand traps in conjunction with the Nibiru to really punish us. This is going to involve this weird Aruha play, which again feels very like unorthodox, but it's fine. And yeah, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to burn through 2 Yamas again. Same thing I did. So I can revive the Shavara. If I don't, and just make this easier here, I do lose out on the Rage and the Trap. So I have to, this rather inefficient play where if you just had 2 Shavaras, you wouldn't have to do shit like this. But this is the world we live in, so we make do. And then I have to revive still, so I'm going to set here, and I'm going to pop either the Pain or the Chronicle, whichever one I feel is worse follow-up. I decided the Chronicle's worse. And hopefully if I get access to a Beckoning Beast or a Spirit Gates, I can get it back later. But not a huge deal. Because then you see Rage, then there's Caesar, and bam! Like clockwork, this combo is every game. And I do Prison again, so I just get both traps. Yeah. And this is very classic. Just, you're not going to beat this. Do this to my opponent if I'm trying to try now, but they're not going to be anywhere close. Hero lives, easy Caesar negates, the card is broken, there's another one coming down, I don't have a problem with this. And then goes Stratos. This is not a big problem for me, so I'm going to let it rock. Adds Ferris, and I debate here if I want to use the Phantom Yubel or the Caesar on the Ferris. I decided to use Phantom more so, because what that allows me to do, it lets me save the Caesar for like a Miracle Fusion or a Polymerization play, which could be a problem. However, what I'm realizing here is that because my Yubel stuck under the Varidras, I don't have a Yubel on field anymore. So now I don't force the Nightmare Pain into a bad monster. So here they think for a second. I think what they end up getting is an Honest Neos here. And you're gonna notice here, like the big part of like playing with a common deck like this is when you get to certain points, you shouldn't be negating conventional cards in a way maybe you would in like a normal deck. When your board is this powerful, find the only way you can lose and play around it. So for here, when he adds Honest Neos, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's trying to bait me into popping the Stratos here, where he goes like Stratos attack the Varidras, use Honest Neos, and then he wants me to negate it, and then detach the second material of Varidras, destroy the Stratos, in which case then evenly would ruin me, which would be a good play. So knowing that's the only way I lose here, I decided to negate but not destroy the extra card, because I may as well keep the Var just for follow-up, and if it dies I can pop a card as well. Then I'm not going to destroy the Stratos here, because the main and the only way I lose is going to be evenly. So Thrustman phase 2, because he did force out the negate, is going to be solid. But I mean, even Dark Ruler here, it means I get to live. My follow-up's incredible, so I'm not like really worried at all. So he gets the Regeki there, and fine. I got floaters, and I'm still just big chilling. The reason I'm okay with it here is, again, because now evenly is no longer a threat. That was the only time it was a problem for me. So again, identifying your lose condition and then playing around it is a huge part of getting better as a player. Even if it only comes up in very, very small circumstances, it's important to do. And if my opponent had successfully resolved that combo and baited me out, that would have been a very, very good play on their behalf. I would have been very impressed. I didn't see their full hand. I'm not sure if they had evenly matched or if they were going for that type of layered bluff or, you know, kind of combo. But yeah, the DPE is their interrupt is not going to be nowhere close to enough in terms of actually stopping me. And I still do have disruptions here. I still have the effect to revive the rage as well as the escape. So I still have a pop, a suck up, an SP banish, and then SP banish again. So still 4 layers of interrupts because I know one of the cards in hand is Ferris. Yeah, they're going to pop the follow-up, but I can't deal with this pretty easily. I debate here if I want to use Yama. I'm like, nah, I don't need to do anything. So that one pass, again, not going to play around anything. I'm not sure if any back row is a lose condition here for me. I figure if there's anything I lose to, it's some random floodgate. So rather than messing around and finding out if something exists I don't know about, I just pop it in the end phase here. And then, you know, especially my last Unchained from the deck, I'm playing an Abomination in this deck because it's going to help you play through field sometimes, as well as helping you play around breakers, because when your board gets Dark Ruler, it means you get one more pop when like you add back Shavara or whatever. But either way, yeah, so I have the body up here that comes back, and I can first action summon Phantom, which will check the DPE immediately. The last card is Ferris. Game is over, and I have plenty of follow-up outside of this as well. I still have the Shavara in hand from the Regeki. Like, it's so over. Yeah, now it's going through the motions. My opponent's going to concede very shortly because they realize this is just unwinnable for them. Yeah. Now, as I'm side decking for heroes, my biggest concern is going to be Dark Law. This deck can play under cards like Dark Law and Shifter. It is not the end of the world. That being said, it is still a nuisance, specifically because you lose out of the free value off of Phantom and Yubel. So yeah, I do side in cards like Mind Control and Phantasma to draw it, and the Dark Ruler, this is my main deck. I think I debated cards like Italian Sea for a second in case like Mass Change, Here Lives, Poly, and I'm not sure if that break up the combo enough. I can't remember if I side it in or not. I do not draw it though, which is I guess same thing. And again, because I don't really have hand traps, I am just sitting waiting for my opponents to do their combo. I start off with some OTS pack opening. You see I pull nothing there. Whatever. Ferris start, Shadow Mist here. Even if you don't have hand traps, it's important to just be clear with your opponents, say no response, whatever. Because for one, like, it doesn't give away you have no hand traps. Telling your opponent just the combo is pretty sure against the rules, but even if it's not, like, you give away information right there. Like, you definitely cannot lie to your opponent. If you say go nuts and you and then you have a Nibiru, like that's actually not allowed. I'm not sure. The saying go nuts might be in that type of way might also be not allowed, but I know for sure you cannot lie. But the point is, like, it's a bad habit anyways, because you want to keep your responses kind of like a poker face, almost stagnant throughout. That way you don't give your opponent free reads on what you have. So me still being attentive to my opponent and understanding what they're doing, for one, lets me see if they drew any of their bricks and they have to like skip a step, and I can figure out their hand. And based off play patterns, maybe I can tell something different. But then also, it doesn't tell them I have nothing. I'm still kind of following, saying you're good, and then I could pick up the pace somewhere else. This is also partially why it's important to think early in the turn. So if you do have hand traps, to decide where you would want to stop them if you do. That way you can quickly say okay at some of these points and not give away you have hand traps. And then the second they're like weakened to nib, you say okay, now I do it. Because you weren't thinking about it earlier, it's not incredibly obvious. So that type of just keeping a constant emotion and attendant just approach is important. For your sake, and for just keeping the state of the game, right? For your opponents, it's also annoying. Your opponent just, spaces out, and like you're trying to make sure your plays are good because you don't want to cheat your opponent, but then your opponent's also like not paying attention, so it's annoying. So yeah, just general good habits, which I know I'm kind of rambling on a bit, probably more than I should be here, but all right. Anyways, I'm expecting here to get full on Dark Law comboed. The biggest question here is am I getting Plasmid as well? I'm pretty sure I don't get Plasmid here, although I drew Dark Ruler, which sets me up fantastically into pretty much anything. I know I'm getting Dark Clawed specifically off of Special Summon Shadow Mist because they discarded Shadow Mist for Ferris and didn't use the effect. And that type of play signals to me kind of what the rest of the hand is like. And even though I don't have hand traps interact here, it's still important to keep along. It also tells me they play 2 Shadow Mists the way they did this year. And I am going to be able to Dark Claw this, which is fantastic. They did not search favorite contact as well, so I know either that's a favorite contact face down or it's nothing. So now I'm going to start playing through this. I got drolled here, unfortunately. Now this is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm trying to think how I'd like through this. I have a Thrust in hand that is now dead. Nice thing about Nightmare Throne and the Spirit of Yubel is both of those effects don't technically lose the droll. Nightmare Throne can still send from deck to grave to destroy from deck to grave, and Spirit of Yubel can set. So it's not that bad. So here I still get to destroy 2 special summon from deck. And get out my Yubel here. And then thinking my next play here is, unfortunately, I think I have to go Tribute Summon Shyama, which is not like a great play, but what it does do is get me into Unchained cards. I think here I actually Thrust first to make sure that I don't get ashed. I want to get access to my Unchained cards. Here makes the correct play where round 1 I didn't. I put the Abomination Prison face down instead of an Unchained Trap. I'm pretty sure I sat out one Unchained Trap going second, so I didn't want to burn too much. I still want to be able to Shavara later. Didn't use the droplets, but I'll take it. I get special from deck, and I get to make an Unchained combo to clear the field, which, you know, is overall just all right. So I still have to play around. I'm trying to remember if I knew the last card in his hand or not, if I had to play on hand traps. I must have not known it, because I played around the Ashler by thrusting first. And then Yama's great. Again, I can play around draw by adding back from grave, and because I haven't used Shavara yet, it's not a big deal. And I'm thinking through the rest of my plays, because I did side out Sarama, I'm pretty sure, going second. So if I use Shavara here, I can't keep extending. Because I still have to make a board, right? Because I Dark Reload, I cannot kill them. The thing as well, with out of Nightmare Pain, I can't like do the stuff where I crash my cards into deal damage. I also Dark Reload them. It's a bit weird. Clearing monsters in this deck is not super easy because a lot of your engine is just 0 attack cards. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't make a misstep and advance too far in my combo to the point where I can no longer clear cards off the field. I think actually I make Anguish first here, which probably is a mistake. It forces me to go into Abomination instead of making a Rage, which Rage probably would have been better. I'm trying to think here. Right now I can kill 2 bodies, right? I can go Abominable Soul, kill 1, and then Shavar can kill the Link monster. And then main phase 2, and then go Anguish. Anguish suck up the Dark Claw, lead up the Sunriser. That's a play I can do. But that doesn't kill everything. You see here, it's not actually very intuitive to kill all 3 monsters. So I go Anguish instead. Abomination will let me clear the entire field, but it's less interrupts. As Abomination will trigger during the end phase, when a card is destroyed by card effect except itself, and when a card is destroyed by battle. So either way, now I clear everything. Now it's not hard, but it also means my field's less interrupting. Because now my only source of extension left is going to be this Shyama into Caesar. So here I just pop, cycle it back, and this will give me access to Caesar. I should have popped the Dark Claw there, just in case he has an Honest Neos. That's why I attack the Infernal Devicer there. Just guarantee it dies that way. I don't have to attack the Dark Claw. If that gets Honest Neos, that's kind of a problem. Anyways, here I go to the field. I got the Caesar up, I got Phantom up, and I got a A-Bomb up. So not bad field. And now they have 2 in hand. They do have Mally Denier combos, but overall it is not too much to deal with. Yeah, so I get drop-lidded on Caesar. Denier comes through, but I still have Phantom and follow-up. I'm trying to think what I'm thinking about here. I'm trying to think of what resources he has left in his grave. I know he has Increase, so that's really important because Increase can be a problem. Yeah, so I know that the only graveyard effect in here is going to be Increase to come back. I'm just making sure that Abomination doesn't trigger when I destroy from the Yubel from the deck. I negate it, that way now even if he puts a Mally back with an Denier later, he doesn't have a Mally in grave anymore. And here I summon the Yubel and attack. Now this is a mistake because, you know, ideally you think, I'm going to pause here. This goes kind of where you think about your conventional play versus the correct play. The conventional play is summon Yubel and attack. It's a good habit to make because your opponent will take the damage, and we have Nightmare Pain up, they'll take double damage and they have to attack it. So you want to put Yubel on attack points. There's really not much downside to doing that. However, here, because there's increase in the grave, I don't want to deal damage to them. If I put Yubel in defense, they can either deal damage themselves by crashing the Denier into a monster, or they can attack Yubel and do nothing because they don't take the damage. Because remember, Yubel only triggers when it's a face-up attack position card being targeted for an attack. So if it was in defense, you wouldn't have dealt that burn damage, then increase wouldn't have triggered, and then wouldn't let them play. Because as far as I understand, the only play here would have been to attack, crash, get increase, and then there's no cards left, and they just lose. 100% this is a mistake. Don't get me wrong. Full-on misplay on my behalf here. Something to keep in mind. Knowing when to break your conventional plays by having a reasoning. So knowing the reason to make your play is a big one. The reason to put Yubel in attack. the reason this is a good habit is it deals extra damage. And now once I know that reason, I know that I should be avoiding dealing damage here, therefore I should put it in defense mode. And it's just that type of logic reasoning that will help you progress as a player, but I made the mistake here. So we'll press forward. So here they will get this body out, and they do more than I honestly thought would happen here. So here I'm just confirming that it does trigger off of effect damage or battle damage. It does, so opponent is making a fully legal play here. Like, again, I know what most of these cards do in every deck, but the specifics and exact things on a lot of the cards I may not know fully, so I read them. So that's why you'll see me read a lot of cards, or otherwise I really should know what they do. It's just I'm looking for specific either grammar for how it resolves, or if it has any restrictions I'm missing. So still Cross Crusader is the correct play here, but instead they're going to be bringing back the Nair, which is for sure the better play, because that's going to stack the Mali, and the Violent did just send the Mali, so it is going to set up this this Mali play that I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. Yeah, so Cross Crusader there is going to get Stratos. They can normal summon Stratos, and that'll get Plasma. So you can see here now they have a Plasma setup because they did not burn at turn 1. And this skill drain effect is kind of hard for me to deal, especially because it's going to have a 3400 attack stat line after sucking up my Abomination. So how does my deck deal with Plasma? I'm going to think about it for a while on the next turn, because you can dodge Plasma. Plasma is skill drain. It only stops cards that are on the field. So if I can go use an effect and then chain another effect to get it off the field, it'll resolve. So what I'm going to try and do is get a way to Shavara or Grave Squirmer, pop a card, use an effect and then chain the pop to dodge it. That's going to be my prime directive here, most likely. Yeah, so here I'm thinking if I have an effective way to beat it, because I can go Rage, Crash, add back Shavara, and then Yama effect trigger as well. Yama can revive like Abomination, and they can, if I can find a way to trigger Abomination, but like set a card, then go Shayama, target the set card, Abomination trigger, change Shavara. That will work. That would pop the Plasma here, and then I can make Yama and then Phantom. That's like okay play. Okay, so there it is. That's the play you probably have to make if you don't draw Imperm here. Because I draw Imperm, I kind of get to just freestyle. Here, what am I resolving? I'm resolving a Spirit of or Samsara Lotus for no reason. Doesn't do anything here. That's not what I should have started. It really doesn't matter. But like again, I have just infinite resources. I'm kind of just doing a bunch of nonsense. I was trying to think if I had any way to break through the board with Nightmare Pain, because that would kill him instead of... but obviously that's not going to be the case here. That would require me to trigger Spirit Yubel and then chain Grave Screamer to pop it. And I'm pretty sure I could not do it. So I get the Rage out and make Phantom, and I'm like, I fit. Like, I just have Imperm. Like, instead of overthinking this, let me just make my board set Imperm. And like, he's out of resources. I don't need to do anything different. Like, this is fine. Oh! My play, I'm being stupid. There's an Abomination under that under the Plasma. I can't revive Abomination off Yama. I have to revive something else. Never mind, my play doesn't work. I'd have to rethink about a different play. I have Abominable Soul in the grave, right? I can revive Abominable Soul and discard a card. There you go. I knew I had it. Don't worry. And then change Shavara. Yeah, but obviously with the Imperm off the top, this is not very difficult. It's kind of just go through the motions, and yeah. I was very happy with how I played under Thrust there. Now, there were a lot of mistakes here. There was plenty of things to optimize, and this match was far from perfect in terms of gameplay. I got to show off how you can do stuff through Disruption still. All right, so we're here with round 3 now. 2-0, off to a good start. We got to win 2 more rounds, and we will get first place at the locals. Just again, Swiss only. Lose the roll though, which means I don't get to do my Wombo combo, but this deck can play fine going second, so I'm not overly concerned. Opponent starts with Terratop here, and immediately I'm thinking probably Salamangreat. That's what I've seen Terratop in the most. Then he goes Goblin Biker, and I'm like, all right. So this is a deck I don't know that well, to be honest. I know what the cards do vaguely, but not great, so I just have to double check everything, because I know a lot of things have bonus effects. For example, he's about to search the search spell, the Goblin Rhoda, but we're going to notice something very quick. This is not actually a Goblin deck. He's going to add Memento Goblin, which I was not expecting. Now we get some Memento cards, and I guess I don't know if I should be relieved or sad, but I do know this deck better than Goblins, so I don't really need to read all these cards. I may have to reading on specific grammars and stuff because I've played this deck. But yeah, it's restrictions and all the sort. But so he's showing off this one card Terratop combo that I did not know existed in Memento. And now in terms of its validity, I wonder how good it is, because my biggest problem with this is it requires you to play the Goblin spell. This is like not the worst, the job is not good either, as well as Tekatomborg and the Goblin monster. So you have 3 bad cards in your deck to draw, which are all kind of rough. The extra deck space doesn't matter that much for this deck, because that's not a problem. But yeah, my biggest concern is 3 kind of bad cards in your deck for the cost of 3 Terratops, which are good draws. So their 1-to-1 ratio in terms of brick to good card is sketchy. Yes, they go through all the combo here. They search Memento Fusion, so I'm inclined to think they already have either Mementotlan or what's it called? Bone Party? Not Bone Party. The trap card. Skull Crusher? I don't remember the name. The trap card that is like pretty much Appaloosa. And now the biggest problem with Yubel, and the reason why your breakers are geared the way they are, is the deck struggles with Appaloosa. You can play through interrupts very well. Removal is very strong. However, when they have like several interrupts in the case of Appaloosa, all tied to one monster and all monster negates, it is very hard for you to deal with. So that trap card is pseudo Appaloosa. In case it's actually 5 monster negates. It's really hard for this deck to deal with. So that's immediately going to be a rough kind of issue for me that I'm going to have to try and address. The rest of the board for Memento is pretty strong. It is kind of deceiving. You don't think of Memento as being a strong deck, but when it goes first, its end board is pretty premium. And here this trap is going to be very much nuisance. Now they had Bone Party hard drawn, so they still have access to creation. Like, damn. But yeah, they should have all they need. The Pinite Early will come back in the end phase as well to serve as a monster negate, which isn't the biggest problem, but, you know, is still neat. And then they have the Guardian Chimera access. They can steal my board. With Mace, they're going to have the Pinite Early. They're going to have the 5 negates with the Bone Coliseum, the Crusher, whatever it's called. And they're going to have the IP and SP, which is, like, as far as interrupts go, very, very strong, very layered. It looks a lot like what my board looks like. Now, I think my deck can play way better through hand traps and way better on breakers is the difference. Now, the problem is, I don't know how I can bait this. Now, what I need to do is Talents steal the Memento off field, and then they can't use the trap card. He'll use the effect of Mind Creation to revive from the grave, and then I can thrust. What I maybe should have done after this, after he didn't take the bait, is if I don't think I can break the field, I should maybe go evenly matched, or not evenly matched, like bait it. And what that would do is maybe threaten IP into SP for follow-up. And if they do that, then what I can do is then go thrust for talents, steal Mind Creation, and then I'm no longer in fear of that trap card. Because the trap card, again, is the only thing I'm worried about. Like Appaloosa, it's once per chain, so I can change Shavar to get it out. And this will let me get a bunch of cards in the field. Now, the problem with what I was doing here is even just like eating the trap negate still does not turn on talents. So I have to do this to try and force something out. Here he tries to do negates Abominable Soul and then Anguish. You cannot do this, however, because Anguish and Abominable Soul are both triggers, non-turn players. Mine's Chilling 1. So if they want to use the trap card, they have to respond directly to. So they don't have to decide between them. So here they decide to still do Anguish, but then they go IP and they go Pit Knight. And yeah, it's going to be prove too much to deal with, because they're going to pretty much remove 2 of my bodies off the field. One with the SP here, and then Mace as well. And then if they want to, they can make Guardian Chimera and take another body off the field. They can SP banish another card. So even though now my talent is live, I've lost like my entire board. And I had to do so in an inefficient way to force the monster effects. I couldn't even like play around removal. As you can see here how it's incredibly layered. How he essentially had 5 monster negates as well as like 5 layers of removal. And as much as my Yubel deck can play through boards, this is too much. Because I know Bone Party and Fusion face down. It's just so scuffed. There's just no way of coming back from this. So I'm going to try, and I take the Combined Creation here, which does thankfully, you know, clear off the negates. We'll steal their Beckoning Beast. So Combined Creation can only attack all monsters if it's the only card you control. So I can't attack everything here. That being said, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have won the game anyways. My plays are very scuffed. One thing to note is, as I was prosperating, I probably banished the wrong cards. I banished Muck right here, thinking when the hell would I ever need this going second. But I think I will need it here. I should have assessed my game plan involved the talents steal creation. And in my head, the creation was going to be used as a material to make rage or anguish every time. However, I actually would have rather made Muckraker here because I put the spirit in my grave. And we'll see here, it comes up, the killing the Beckoning Beast thing here. I still think I need to kill the Beckoning Beast because I need to be able to make Phantom, but it is kind of rough. Perhaps I should have done this differently. I don't know. I only had 2 attacks. It's so bad. Yeah, here I fuse for Phantom. Now Muckraker is the targets, but if I didn't, I could have gone Muckraker, revive Phantom, or revive Spirit on Nightmare Pain. And then even though I'm locked into Fiend, so I can't Vardrus now, I can make actual plays. I can get into my engine, get into Yama, and try and actually play. This also is the caveat that I don't get Guardian Chimera. If the last card in hand is a monster, then Guardian Chimera comes down. Actually, you know what? I lose either way because they can go... I don't remember if they have Goddic Engrave. If they don't have Goddic Engrave, they can go Bone Party, destroy the card on field, get Goddic effect on summon that back, and then I get Guardian Chimera either way. But the point is, I could have done more if I made Muckraker. So yeah, I get to this point, and I'm like, all right, maybe I just hold the Combine Creation hostage. And my win condition here is to make a mistake. Phantom acts as a negate, and then gets me follow-up. That being said, playing tree only out is an important part of clutching up games. And here we had plenty of time on the clock, so I wasn't too worried. And here he's going to think properly how to make sure he doesn't punt, because again, like that's my win condition, my opponent punting here. Forcing the negates early is a great way to start. My opponent's fine. It's just not going to be enough. Now I have no interrupts left. The only thing I have left is the Typhon, so that'll stop 3k monster attacks. It'll stop Guardian Chimera. It'll stop Access Code if they get the attack buff, which again would be a mistake if they do, but I'll still like play around it. I'm like, all right, hopefully this is enough. But it's just not going to be because pretty easily they can just pop with Arm Dragon, and I have to see that that's something they know. Then they just use talents. I'm like, oh, okay, well I'm not even gonna try anymore because they can just link it off and I'm immediately dead. So go to game 2, time 2, full combo. I feel really, really confident anytime I go first in this deck. All right, so you can see my hand here. I did draw a mistake and arrest again. Not again, but I drew it, and it's fantastic. I get Impermed on Beckoning Beast, which I think my opponent should do. Spirits is really good. Produce Shavara, so I push through it. And while that may be sacky to draw the Shavara, again, that's partially why I played Prison. Though they would have known I had Shavara and wouldn't have Impermed there, giving me access to 3 more Shavaras is great. Because drawing Shavara, like, it only Fiendlocks you out on the field. It's not even like a hindrance at all. It means your Yama doesn't matter because Impermed, you automatically have access to Unchained cards. Like, I don't see why it's a bad thing to draw Shavara. It's not. It's not actually a brick. And if it's not actually a brick, just play more copies, which you really just can do. So yeah, that's why I'm playing the Unchained cards largely. Shavara is just so good. See, I had Shyama here, especially when you have Spirit Gates. It's just fantastic because now I get to discard the Shyama. I get the Phantom up, Installation from Nibiru. Next step is to revive the spirits. And then I can go into the rank 10 shortly after. So I'm going to go pop. I think I've got to search on Nightmare Pain here. I have to search in a second. And I just get the Grave Skirmer. Again, it's going to be Revival. Because I can summon the Grave Skirmer, link it off for second Yama like I usually do. Same way making second Yama. I need to put the Skirmer in the grave though. That way I can then revive level 10. And again, I still have Yama and Shyama in the grave if I get nibbed at this point. So I should just Skirmer and bring back, make the 10, and exact same play you've seen me do like several times. Shyama, pop the back row. Deck special from deck, effective special from grave. Sarama can pop itself. You could optimize this slightly and use Sarama to keep itself on field and pop the Nightmare Pain instead. And if you summon the Vardrus after, the level 10 will be on field, so you can add back Nightmare Pain with Spirit Gates. That, however, does lose to the triple hand trap combo with Nibiru for slightly more marginal value. It's not worth risking. That's why I don't do that. However, it is an option if you want to maximize value. Opponent tries to search. I mistake an arrest. It probably won't beating my board anyways, but yeah. Next game. Let's move it along. You can see how insane and easy it is for me to just do my combos. Like, it's just so broken. But the problem is here with this scuffed side deck, I don't really have hand traps. I only have Imperm and Retaliating Sea. Retaliating Sea is going to be iffy if it resolves. I think I did put it in because I wanted to try it. And then I have Imperm. Imperm doesn't do much, so I don't think I put it in because it doesn't guarantee to stop the combo and doesn't stop the trap. So I just leave it out. Mind Control, I do have in my side deck, and that will stop it, however. So I put in Mind Control. I'm like, okay, if I draw Mind Control or Talented Thrust, it should be okay. When it starts Terratop again, and I'm like, all right, Got nothing for that, so I'm kind of just gonna sit patiently and let him go. I didn't draw a side deck card. My hand is just like 4 engine and thrust. So thrust is okay. If I can get it active, that will be good. Now again, we have the same problem as last time, where we have to commit cards into the board to force an effect. It's going to be a bit shitty, because now when I am able to steal the creation, they chain mace, they chain IP, and it becomes way worse than if I just hard draw like my control. It's a bit poopy. My side deck, without having back removal or good hand traps, finally leaves me in a precarious spot here. I'm gonna have to play through a rather big interrupt. Here, my opponent just starts playing, and it's gonna be pretty much the same combo as last time. I'm gonna just be patiently waiting, but yeah, I mean, this combo is shown to be impressive. It is very strong as far as 1-card combos go. It does require a lot of bricks, which is probably the biggest reason Memento is flawed. This deck is cool. It can play an okay number on engine. Its issue, though, is it's not the best at extending through removal, and it's also a large number of one-of cards that aren't the best to draw. Now, the one-of cards you draw, like Combined Creation, Gaddock, Goblin, aren't the worst, but like they're definitely just not good to draw. That's like what's holding it back for me. I'm curious to retry the new Sport Infinite Forbidden. It's not something I've yet had the time to try out, although this deck was very cool when I played it, so I'm looking forward to giving it another shot. But yeah, again here, same thing as normal. I'm just kind of attentively watching, telling them the play's good, it resolves, no response. We are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! There are a bunch of actions. Yeah, we're approaching the end here, and they get to search, and I'm thinking here, they get the trap card. Yeah, they get the trap card. And then Anguish gets to search the last piece. I think they were missing Combined Creation still. I can't remember. Drawing Bone Party is so nice as an extender, because you don't always have the ability to search it, considering your spell searches are limited. And being able to reset it off of Memento Atlan is a good follow-up, and it's yeah, it's just good follow-up because you get to reset it, and more names, good, more hand traps. I'm not sure if my opponent's playing Prosperity. I imagine they are. Part of why I was liking this a little more in TCG more than Master Duel is being able to play 3 Prosperities and taking Search for Memento Fusion and Bone Party a lot easier. And those cards were just incredible playing 3 hand traps. The end of the Arm Dragon here is going to mean they can pop my cards with Bone Party, which is actually like pretty good. And yeah, I'm kind of in a poo-poo spot. I draw for turn, I draw Escape, which is really not what I wanted to draw. I need to draw Mind Control Talents there. I'm pretty sure my only way to win is to resolve Thrust, Talents, Search. And so I'm like, all right, let me threaten Battle Phase here, and maybe they'll fall for the bait of using IP. And especially now they have Arm Dragon on field. The SP banishes the Arm Dragon in itself, keep the field presence up is a real play. And they use the effect of IP Masquerena, so this will bait the Thrust. It worked. I think it was a necessary gambit. I think if I went to Battle Phase, main phase 2, like I would have lost either way, but it was necessary. Also, less removal to deal with is always nice. And I'm thinking I want to play around Ash, so let's go with Nightmare Throne, because maybe they are more aggressive into the talents because they know I play Thrust and they have Ash in hand. I figure let me at least try bait it out. And maybe I'm just trying to force out the SP banish. So like maybe that could be the reasoning for me going SP. Something I'm thinking I'm still trying to force through the Ash. This is probably just a mistake. Like the thing is though, if my Thrust resolves, I'm probably still fine either way. I just really want to see if I could eat an Ash. They do just negate or they have the Bone Party out, and then they get to pop 2 cards, and I believe they pop not the Squirmer, which actually was annoying because I went to the Squirmer engraved so that I could summon Spirit Ball from hand or some Sorrow Lotus. So they get Gothic, and so they can add back. As far as they got Gaddock actually instead of like a way to get Mace, but I'm pretty sure they didn't end with a way to get Mace. But yeah, they can pop my cards. They leave up the monster in field. They're just not the end of the world. They can fuse from hand, make Phantom and link it off. Either way, it's going to come to a juncture now where I do have to resolve this Thrust in order to win. And if it resolves, I should be okay, but that's a big if. There's no other run-ups left on field. There's just the shitty like Pit Knight and SP, which are not a problem. I'm like, yep, I can't effectively force out this Ash anymore. Ash is dead. I'm like, damn it. I felt like it was there, and I tried my best to play around it. It just didn't come to fruition. Maybe I connect the Typhon. Again, keep him off cards on field. He'll make a mistake, try to go for game. And then I Spirit Yubel in hand, and then Spirit of Yubel will block damage, give me another turn, give me a follow-up, and then I can live. That's my way to win. So, I go with this very, very scuffed line. I don't even use the effect here, because Pit Knight will just negate it. I set a back row again, hoping to bluff. Imperm Column, same thing. Leads with Dark Blade. Alright, especially from deck, but I can't use Abominable Soul here because Typhon, 3k attack, doesn't work. I really don't have a good play here to get the follow-up. Yeah, this is just going to be game. He doesn't make the mistake. I think we actually end up being close to time here, so he just gives it piercing. And so the spear doesn't even stop it. I'm like, yeah, I just can't win, so so I lose game 3 there. That Vento board is not to be trifled with. It is quite powerful. So unfortunately, my one thrust was not enough to break the board. And I'll get him next time. Interested in learning more about the Yubel deck? Go check out my Patreon, where I'm going to have another video about Yubel, 2 different versions of it, as well as exact deck lists for people to talk over, progressing into Infinite Forbidden, where we now get the Fiendsmith cards. I also will host classrooms for the EU WCQ and the North American WCQ for players to hone their skills before their big chance at the World Championships. It's also a great way to support me if you want to keep seeing me do content in the future. Continue down this path. All right, round 4 is ready to begin, and we're playing versus Assad, the person who we came with, and we're using his cards, his deck, and he knows my deck inside and out. And here he's chuckling to himself. I'm pouring the die roll is because he knows my deck doesn't main deck hand traps. You know, my side deck only has Imperm, and this guy is playing the stupid Protos Ritual Beast deck. I'm pretty sure I could play through the field if it wasn't for Protos, but he knows I'm playing Yubel, so he's gonna call Dark, and I'm just gonna get destroyed. I roll a 10, like, let's go. Then he rolls a 10. I see me pop off because I saw the 4, and I'm like, let's go. And then I rolled a 7. I'm like, all right, he rolls a 7. It's so intense. Of course, the die roll matters as much. I roll a 4. I lose. All right, whatever. I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't auto lose. Maybe I can draw like Thrust plus Unchained cards and like try crack the field in that way. So you know what? I'll give it a shot. Even though never know if you put on misplays and gets ahead of themselves and messes up the combo as well. So I'm not pressured for time or anything. I'll let my opponent play the combo. As much as people like Josh and myself to a lesser extent have now complained about these one-card combos, it seems we're leaning more and more into them, which I am not thrilled about, because this is very much what's happening here with this Ritual Beast deck. It is very not fun to deal with. At least I don't enjoy this stuff at all. Look at the motions here, Ritual Beast. I don't know how to explain it to you. If you're not familiar with these cards, they all read. You can only special summon once per turn. At least the monster effect monsters, and the fusions can be contact fused using a beast and a tamer. And then they can tag out special summoning one of each from the Banished Zone as well. So you get to keep cycling them. On the point is they get to use their searches a bunch. That Canahawk there, which returns to search. And then they get to just cycle through a bunch of searches, generate a bunch of free bodies. The Nochi Drago is contact fused from the grave, only tags out for 1. Also stops targeting. And that rank, or that link 4 there, is going to give them an extra normal summon and add back a banished card. So here's the pros setup. Very apparent. Keep banishing cards. It's so toxic. Then I get the Nemesis, Flag, then Flag can get Protos, and I can go be pissed. I'm gonna look at my next draw anyways, because again, there's no reason not to, but I will try. Make IP. Sure, they get to summon the Protos now. They get to banish the Banshee, which will revive itself because they control a Pyre with the Flag. And now, even though they control the IP, and which would be popped, they can link it away for Appaloosa, immune to monster effects or immune to destruction. Yeah, all dark. And look at my card. I draw some Samsara for turn. My hand is like nowhere close to good enough, so I just concede. So side deck versus this, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Side out Dark Ruler for Mistaken Arrest. Same thing I did versus the Memento player. Draw my hand here. I have like double Squirmer, Samsara, and Yubel. Spirit Yubel, just like solid start. But then hard draw shifter. Rough. However, thinking it out, I actually just have like plenty of plays, right? I can keep searching. And I can actually do quite a lot. And you can see quite here how much I can do under shifter. So I use my extra normal summon now on the Samsara, which will get me access to a spirit, which will get me Nightmare Pain. If I got Ashed here, this would have been really bad. In fact, I probably should have made Phantom earlier, because I could have just made Phantom from my hand, and I'm going to do it later anyway, so I should have started it off earlier. Getting stopped there would have sucked. Actually, no, this is why I didn't do it. Right, I needed to pop the spirit in hand, because I need to cycle for a second spirit. But now I can do it here. I can make the rank 4 or rank 10. then make Phantom, and then I can keep extending past that as well, which is nice. So I got the rank 10 up, so I 1 negates, and then I should probably make the Phantom here. I just don't though. I do the other play first, and go Yama, and I can pop one of the get Aruha, and Aruha again can pop face ups. It does matter sometimes. Remember I talked about it. I can pop one of these continuous spells that I don't want for follow up. I think I decide to keep the Nightmare Pain. Yeah, I said to keep Nightmare Pain, and then I can make Rage. So I have Rage, and then I can fuse from hand, and I have 3 interrupts, or the 2 negates as well as the Rage. Through Shifter. Screw Shifter. This board is fine. This board is pretty good. And then I'm so mad. He starts laughing here. Like, I know what's gonna happen. Dark Ruler. Nice friend, eh? Shifter Dark Ruler. Brings me back to when I was testing Ash and I got shifted like every effing game. So here, he knows my last card's Beckoning Beast. I held it for a follow-up instead of the Grave Squirmer when I was shoveling back. So he knows my last card. I could have shoveled back the Beckoning Beast instead, held the Grave Squirmer, and that would have accomplished as well as keeping a variable in hand, which could have been a hand trap. However, again, he knows my deck. He knows I don't play hand traps, so it wouldn't have actually accomplished anything. So I figure there's no point of keeping the variable there, and Beckoning Beast is better follow-up than Grave Squirmer, given that if he clears my field, my card's going to get banished, not go to the grave. But yeah, I should just lose here. Again, though, your opponent may make a mistake, and I'm going to let my opponent try and screw up. Here we're friends, so even though it looks like I'm salty, we're kind of just like teasing each other, you know. Don't worry about it, we're close. But yeah, in terms of identifying win condition, one thing I've noticed here, though, is Varadress triggers when it's destroyed, period. So if he destroys the Varadress here, I get the pop a card, and that might give me a sliver of a chance. And that being said, if they don't clear my field in the fullest extent, I do have good follow-up. Even if cards are banished, nothing too integral is gone. Phantom and Yubel can give me more cards if it's not destroyed this turn. You know, I have the Beckoning Beast and the Nightmare Pain, so I have some stuff. If Assad here messes up his combo. But I'm not sure where exactly he messes up here, because eventually at some point he reads the Varadress, realizes that it can't be destroyed, and I just double check and I read it to him. I make that joke like, damn, can't catch him. But maybe it's too late and he doesn't have a good way to clear it anymore. So he's thinking what the best option is to deal with it. He makes the link 4. I think he makes a mistake somewhere where he banishes a card by mistake that he shouldn't have. I think he banished Ulti-Gaia Pelio, and he forgot he banished it, and then never shovels it back. He goes Battle Phase to clear things, I think. He makes kind of Hawk, search. Yeah, I think okay, it's just that. I'm trying to think how he messes this up. Yeah, because he tries to make Paleo, I think, and then just can't, so he can't steal the Varadress. So next up, make Hawk again, and then goes battle. I don't know why it doesn't search here. Probably nothing good to search, but it doesn't matter. Attacks Phantom, whoever dies, attacks the Rage. Sure, it dies. And then I think he goes Bond in the battle phase. Drago Gaia Pelio. And it's just not there. And he's looking in his extra deck. You see a nice mistake there. So now he just doesn't clear the Varadress, which is a big problem. Because now that's going to be negated in his turn. It checks the Steeds. Like, okay. I have a turn again. I have the Varadress up to do some stuff. He's still going to have the Steeds. Still going to have the banish off the Link 4, the ulti ready Ari. Like, he goes through. I'm going to pretty much have to hold this negate for the Steed. Steed is going to be a problem. If he has Imperm Steeds, he has to use it now. I do Diamond Pain for turn, which is dead here, but if he does pop it with Steeds before I use the effect to Destroy and Search, we'll actually be live. So I think I want to, instead of using this, opening the Spirit Gates, I want to try bait out the thing first. Remember, Varadress has the damage step effect to pop, which is why I go Battle Phase here. I'm checking there's no destruction effects. Okay, let's just go Battle, and I can pop some stuff. I attack the Apelio here. He lets it die. I think he again forgot the other effect of Varadress where I can damage step pop. Can't chain Steeds now because of the damage step. I think I missed the Steeds, however. I hit the other card, which ends up being a Book of Eclipse. I'm like, okay, you know what? That's pretty much the same thing as Steeds. I'm happy to hit that. Apelio dies. All right, main phase 2. Now I can negate now that it's not Imperm, I can negate the what's it called? The Steeds. Even though Steeds only really hits 2 cards right now, you can force through the Steeds by using the banish effect of the Link. But if he does that, then Steeds only pops 1, and it's very manageable. He uses that now to banish. Now I'm checking to see how it resolves again. But like, okay, it's fine. If it chains Steeds, not a big deal. Just banish, whatever, don't care. Like, does his body matter? I'm like, no, let it go through, because now I can just for sure negate the Steeds if it happens. and I'm still plenty of plays. So I'm like, whatever. I still have the effect to revive the spirit. And here I get to do something cool. I get to search Mature Chronicle. Mature Chronicle's main effect is to summon Yubel from the grave. That's the effect you're going to use most often. However, what you don't see used as often is the effect to add a banished card. When you remove 2 counters from it, you can add any banished card, any. So which is like really insane when it does come up. And here I'm looking like, damn, I can do some cool stuff. So use 9 red paint to cycle out Skirmer. Now, because the Yubel's stuck under the Var address, I don't get to cycle that. However, if I didn't put the Spirit in grave, I couldn't have done any of this. So it's worth the payoff. What this is accomplishing, however, is it's letting me get a Grave Skirmer in grave and then setting up a Phantom play. But this gets the second counter up. And now I can add back a banished card. So I'm going to add back a Ruhas. Now I have 2 Unchained cards in place. So 2 Unchained cards is how you get the Unchained engine going. Now the Unchained engine is all intact. I never used really much of a turn 1. I did use Rage, so I can't use Rage. I only play 1. But now, essentially, once I get that rolling, I'll be able to end on some of those combos. I use the effect to add back with Spirits, 3 pops. And now I can go Shyama, clear the back row, which will force the Steeds. And then if he uses that to pop, I'll just negate and then puts Yubel in the grave. And I'm fine. So I'm deciding what I want to pop here. I decided to pop that. It doesn't chain it, like, or whatever. I want to keep the Yubel locked under the Var address, but at this point it's too little too late. I can just keep going. And I went first this game, so some Samsara still in my deck. I can do that type of combo. I'm just going to make the Anguish, just to clear up his monster. Pop special, trigger the Yama. The same combo I did before. Just instead of Rage, I'm going to be ending on the Samsara. Sorry, instead of the Rage, I'm ending on Abomination, not Samsara. All the words mesh together in my head and I get confused. Yeah, so clear the field. Abomination, and then I can reset, pop the Spirit, and then bam. There we go, Phantom. And that's the board. And I'm pretty happy with that. He's drawing the 2 cards. He does have the setup of Lara in grave and can make the Nachi Drago. But I can negate the effect of Lara immediately with Caesar. I have another Caesar up still, so the Vardris still have so much. So I am really not concerned anymore. I feel pretty safe. So Nachi Drago, I just go negate. Thanks for a second. And they are cooked. Assad is done for. Almost summons it and like whatever. You make SP, you turn your Ritual Beasts into garbage. So like, all right, sure, man. Like, I may as well negate it. They have 1 card in hand. It's just over. They can't play through this anymore. Nachi Dragos once returns, they're not gonna be able to do more. And here I'm just double checking that a Phantom resolves, but I'm like, yeah, for sure it does. And yep. And we just go game 3. He's gonna take him a second to concede for some reason, but and it shows evenly matched. He's like, oh, I was trying to bait the evenly. I'm like, all right. He has to attack the Yubel because of Nightmare Pain. But I think it would have been fine because I would have had follow up at that point, and I got my flow resources back going again. So yes, screw you, Shifter Dark Ruler. Did make a mistake here. Now here comes the hard part again. I have Imperms decided for this Protoss, which I'll hold for the Protoss, and I'll do that if I can. All right, so he gets to start. Look at my hand, and there's no Imperm, so immediately a bit of sink in my heart because I know. All right, Dark is being called. I have Phantasme though, so I do have a little bit of hope in my secondary strategy that I can try and resolve like an OTK or like a Protoss lock reversed on them. So Phantasme here, I decide I think I need to go deep enough on the draws for the Phantasme that I want to Phantasme on 2 links on field, because last time he did his combo, he made IP under Ulti Ready Ari before making Apo, and if the same play is done again, then I want to be able to draw 3 cards and just fully fix my hand to where it's not reliant on the Yubel cards at all. I want to have an Unchained hand pretty much. I want to play Unchained. My Unchained cards are not fully dark. Like, obviously, a lot of the cards are dark. Yam is dark. Saram is dark. Abominable Soul is dark. Rage and Anguish are dark. Like, I am playing a dark deck with Unchained, but I have a little more flexibility with Shavara, Aroha, and Shyama. I hate this combo so much. I hate Protoss so much. I hate all of this. Protoss and Colossus, 2 things that are absolutely not healthy. Actually just insane. So you can see me just like bitching to my friend. Like, this is stupid, blah, 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 blah. He's gonna go through all the combo again. At some point he's like, oh, I can't Protoss. I know he's trolling me because that's what he does. He likes to say something that's just completely like not true for the sake of teasing. I don't know the deck well enough to know when he's actually made a mistake, although I'm pretty sure at this point there's nothing. At least if there's a mistake, it's not a big one. I'm pretty sure I'm getting Protoss locked. Yeah, and it's going to happen very shortly. Going through the motions here. I'm pretty sure that he just drew Nemesis Flag, is what happens. And that's why it ends up being a little bit different, a little bit weird at least. Search, and then goes... I'm trying to remember how this ends up. Oh, this Ritual Beast deck. I am so over this Ritual Beast deck. Add Steeds, I'm like, alright, it's going to be something to play through. And then goes Flag, yeah, hard to the Flag. Alright, whatever, cool. And then there's the Protoss coming down. Here I'm a bit worried because he played it in a way where he may not make a Link 2 before summoning the Protoss. So I'm hoping that he summons IP because he wants to banish a Dark for it. Here he throws it in the, he's thinking about it, I'm like, damn, put it in the grave. Puts it in the grave, I'm like, okay, let's go, summon a Link. Summoning Link here doesn't actually do anything. He's summoning an IP that's really just getting banished for Protoss. Yes, alright, extra draw. Give me something good. I'll draw a Ruha and a Trap, and I'm like, alright, you know what, like, it's not mind control, but like, or talents, but it's alright, so we'll get started. And an important thing to note here is if I can get a Ruha, Chayama, and Shavara on the field, and then talents the Protoss, which is 25 plus 15, is 4,000 plus 2,000 plus 2,000, which is 8,000 damage. And I want to hold the Shavara in hand. He doesn't know I have it. And what's going to accomplish is if he tries to Nochi Drago banish, I can chain the Shayama, or chain the Shavara, and it's going to force the Nochi Drago to still get banished. Yeah, so I'm going to summon the Shayama here to threaten the back row as well. Here he uses Nochi Drago, I think, to protect his back row, and the Shavara does catch him off guard. So it's weird. He doesn't chain Steeds here, targeting the Shayama, which is like questionable. I wanted to save the Shavara in hand if I can't kill him because it lets me tribute over the Protoss if I need to. I'm like, you know what, it's fine. Let's go for the lethal shot here because now when I revive the Shavara, it is threatening damage. He's clear field now, right? If there's Book of Eclipse, I will lose. Nothing to do about it, so we're not going to play around it. And if I Prosperity to turn off Eclipse, then I can't kill him, which is the whole point of this play. And now because he doesn't have a wind on field, I can't Protoss lock him for wind either, which is kind of annoying. So will be a kill angle, or like clear field makes Caesar Prates enough, which it really just probably won't be. Here I'm thinking about the best way to put Shayama into play. I want to get the Shayama into play first, the pop back row before committing the talents. So I'm like, alright, I can set the throne to revive now. It's where I haven't used a normal summon yet. I'm not tribute summoning, so it's search Squirmer for next turn. I kill Steeds, which is not what I want. The card is dead. I want to hit the other back row. Trust for talents, and that's going to be so tilting, guys. He could have done this before. Talents, and he crosses it out. And you can argue, like, I lost 50-50. If I hit that cross out, I win. But if he chains calling talents, he knows I don't have Change of Heart in my deck, so I couldn't have thrust for Change of Heart. I could have only thrust for Mind Control and it wouldn't have been enough. But yeah, now I'm like tilted here, and I'm like, god damn it, like now I just can't like do anything. I figured Prosperity for Mind Control and like do damage. Maybe like he just fumbles the bag and I can win. So I go, alright, Prosper 6, doesn't matter, Spanish Dark targets. Look for Mind Control, and I hit literally all cards I cannot use. I had like 2 more Nightmare Thrones that I can't use. Grave Scrimmer already summoned, and a Thruster already used. I'm like, what is this garbage? So I'm like, yeah, whatever, add this to protect me from dying by attacks. And if he Protoss water here for Caesar. And I'm like, alright, go, whatever. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the game is just over here. He goes call water. And I'm pretty sure time's about to be called, so I'm like, alright, you just got the win. Like, I am very clearly losing this game. You can go battle phase, attack a Ruha, it's game as well, so I'm not even gonna try. It's just over. I feel like the odds of that resulting the way it was rather unlucky, but it happens. 2-2 is really not the result I expected, but that's okay.
Damn. All right. So 2-0 to 2-2. Really not what I expected. Thought I'd do better. I really those 2 losses at the end I feel like were a bit rough. And some necklace changes for sure that maybe could have improved things. So I'm going to head home now. When I get back, I'll talk about maybe a couple changes that could be made and just the deck in general, experience in general. So I mean, you're going to already get that as I'm talking over it, but yeah, 2-2, really not what I expected. Please believe me, this deck is good. This is not a representation of the deck. In 4 rounds, variance can happen. If anything, the last game shows you. It doesn't matter how well things go or how well you can try. Sometimes you just can't win.
All right, and we are back from locals. Shout outs to Assad for giving us the deck and side deck, albeit not great side deck that probably cost us those matches. But yes, let's talk about how it went. Despite the strong start with the 2-0, we did finish 2-2, which is rather poor by my standards. The deck performed okay. If anything, I showed you why it plays through hand trap so well. I went first, and at least a single time I went first. I probably should have lost to Assad. He played better the one time he had Dark Ruler Shifter. But again, what is required for to beat you when you go first is just so astronomically like powerful that like it takes heaven and earth to really put you in the ground. The biggest problem with this deck is Floodgates, the pseudo FTKs, cards like Appaloosa is the only other one, and I guess in this case the combined Creation Trap from Memento are both really problems for this deck. This deck can't play a huge non-engine count. I think the non-engines deck may have to switch up. If my main problem is going to be pseudo FTKs, Thrust Talents and Dark Ruler maybe have to come out. But otherwise, the deck is powerful. It is not complete yet. I still keep thinking on it. And if you want to see my deck list for both this version Yubel and the more classic OCG inspired version Yubel, check out the Patreon, where I will be making a video about the 2 Yubels inside of you and how both have their upsides and exactly what they are and how you'd go about building them. And with that being said, if you enjoy these local vlogs with these different types of decks, please consider leaving a comment down below what decks you want to see in the future, and liking, subscribing, get that boost in the engagement for the algorithm. It really goes a long way for the channel. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Peace.